everybody, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to learn about writing fonts for the Cricut. I love the look of handwritten messages or addresses, but I struggle with my penmanship. My handwriting is just not as neat as I'd like it. But did you know your Cricut has perfect penmanship in hundreds of styles? It does, and I can show you how to add writing to new or existing projects. Even better, I'm sharing 2 free writing fonts that you can use to add stylish handwriting to your next card or envelope. So come with me to learn more about Cricut writing fonts and how to use them. Learning how to use your Cricut to write and draw using pens really opens up new creative opportunities. Your Cricut can do all sorts of writing for you and save you lots of hand cramps and time. That is, as long as you pick the right fonts and prepare your projects carefully. In this video, I'll show you how you can do that using both pre-made materials and some that we will cut and write at the same time, which is pretty cool. The materials are simple, just some cardstock, Cricut cards, or envelopes for the examples that we'll share today. And I'm going to use some of Cricut's glitter and fine point pens, a blue or green machine mat, and a Cricut Maker 3, but you can use these techniques with any Cricut, including the Joy and the Cricut Explorer. If you want to make the same envelope as me, I used 12 by 24 inch cardstock and the same size green standard grip mat to cut it as one piece, but I'll show you where to find instructions using a smaller mat too. A brayer, a scraper, and craft glue will help you, especially if you're making cards or envelopes from scratch. I tried lots of different combinations during testing, including fine point pens, glitter gel pens, and opaque gel pens on both cutaway and insert cards and their envelopes. There are so many combinations to try, you'll definitely find some that you like. But the right font really makes all the difference, and there aren't that many free writing fonts in Cricut Design Space. So I'm sharing 2 free options with you, a font called JM Penwriting and one called JM Tall. JM Penwriting is actually based on my own handwriting, when done very neatly, of course, and JM Tall is a totally new font that's clear and easy to work with. I'll show you how easy it is to add fonts to Design Space and start using them right away. We'll also look at how to pick a good font for writing while avoiding the dreaded bubble letters when you want to use a handwritten style. So let's get started. Before you begin, get my free writing fonts. First, let's get the free writing font files. You must have them installed on your computer before opening Cricut Design Space for them to work properly. So go to jennifermaker.com/437 and look for libraries in the red bar at the top. Then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. You can find the link on the page for searching for number 437 and then click it to download the zip file. If you're unsure how to do this, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to unzip and upload files. Next, follow my directions at jennifermaker.com/how to upload fonts to Cricut to install the fonts on your computer. Now, let's use the new fonts in our projects. Step 1, upload your card or envelope design. Back in the library, find the card or envelope design that you'd like to make. Then download the zip files and add the necessary designs to your canvas in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to use the A7 rose card from my DIY greeting card set, which is design number 42. There are lots of options available for you to pick from. And I want to make an envelope that fits the card at the same time, so I'll also grab the A7 envelope design from the How to Make an Envelope tutorial, which is design number 373. They're perfect for 5x7 cards. You can use these steps on any card or envelope design. Just make sure the sizes match. With both files on the canvas in Cricut Design Space, drag the envelopes to the side so you can see everything. You may need to click the minus sign in the lower left corner to zoom out to see everything. Click Ungroup so you can pick the envelope that you'd like to make and then delete the rest. If you have a 12 by 24 inch mat and paper that's appropriately sized for that mat, you can use one of the envelope designs that's all one piece. But if not, use a version with separate pieces and follow the original tutorial to glue them together during assembly. I'm going to use the teal design with the detailed cuts on the flap that is cut as one piece. The envelope design also includes a rectangle that needs to be changed to a score line. Select the rectangle from the Layers panel and change the operation to Score. Then click Attach to attach the score layer to the envelope. If you need more detailed instructions on attaching score layers, please check out my How to Make Envelopes tutorial. Step 2. Add personalized text. Let's start by adding text to the card. I'll add some writing to the insert that will go on the right side of the card once it's opened. That's the one with the bigger flower. First, select the card and click Ungroup so you can work with the different pieces. Click the text icon on the left side of the canvas. Before you type, let's talk about how to find writing fonts. Click the drop-down menu under Font at the top of the window to see your options. Let's look at fonts that come with Cricut Design Space by staying in the Cricut section for now. The gray text under a font here tells you the different styles the font is available in. Since we're learning about writing with a Cricut, the ones with writing as an option are the easiest to work with. If you choose a font that doesn't have writing as a style, like Cricut Classic Chunky, the Cricut will only draw the outlines of the letters, even after you change the operation from basic cut to pen. If you look under Style, you can see that writing is not available. That works if you want what I call bubble letters, meaning just outlines of fonts, but it's not the handwritten look that we want for cards and envelopes. Now let's look at Cricut Sans, because that font does have a writing style. Back in the Font menu, select Cricut Sans. The text will go back to basic cut, so click Operation and change it to Pen under Draw. Bubble letters again. Remember, click Style to select writing, and now it looks correct. So remember, you both want a font with a writing style, and you want to be sure to select the writing style too. Now that we have the basics, go back to the Font menu to look at some options. When picking a writing font, look for single line styles that will be easy for the pen to create. Lots of tiny details might get lost depending on your pen's width, so simple is often better. For example, Agent Q has a writing style, but if you use too thick of a pen or marker or make the text too small, you will lose the details. If you're looking at Cricut fonts, another helpful step is checking the kerned box. A kerned font has extra data for better letter spacing. Kerned fonts look better, especially if you're looking at script fonts that need to connect. Brush Script is an example of a writing font that isn't kerned at the time I'm making this video. If you don't choose a kerned font and the letters are too close together or too far apart, you can fix it. Click on your text block and click the arrows by letter space at the top of the screen until it looks right. If you just can't get your characters spaced perfectly, click the advanced icon at the top of the screen, then choose Ungroup to Letters. Now you can move each letter individually. Move the letters where you want them to be, hold down the Shift key to keep them aligned as you move them. Then select all of the letters and choose Attach below the Layers panel to keep them all together when you go to actually make your cards and envelopes. That's good to know, but it is much easier to just check that kerned box so you don't have to do all the extra work. I'm going to get rid of that example and really prepare our text options now. Select your original text box again and open the Font menu. Then click Filters and check the box next to Writing. I also suggest checking off Free. There are some options, but let's find the new fonts that we got earlier in this tutorial. Click System to see fonts that you've downloaded and installed on your computer. I'll search for JM and then pick JM Tall. Double-click in your text box to type your message. I'm going with a simple happy birthday, and I'm going to put it on 2 lines by hitting the Enter key after happy. If you don't like the look of the spacing between the lines, you can click the arrows next to line space to manually adjust the distance between the words. Then click anywhere outside of the text box to get out of the edit mode. Click and drag the text lines where you want them on the card insert, or hold down the Shift key to select the text lines and the insert, and then click Align and center horizontally. Click the color box next to Operation to select your pen details. I'm going to use a medium glitter gel pen in red. Now that the font shows the actual look with the pen and the pen color, you may wish to resize it. With just the text layer selected, click and drag the corner of the text box to resize it. If you drag another part of the text box like the middle, you might accidentally end up rearranging the line, so only drag one of the corners. Once you're happy with your text and the placement, click and drag your mouse over the insert card and the text. Then click Attach at the bottom of the Layers panel. This is very important to do. If you forget to click Attach, your Cricut won't know what piece of paper you want to write your letters onto. Now that our card is set, let's work on our envelope. To better see the writing on the Cricut Design Space canvas, let's change the envelope to a light yellow. Remember, you can use any color on your machine mat. Just like with the card, click the text icon to add a new layer of text. Your text will default to the last font that you chose, but you can use the font menu to pick another font if you'd like. I'm going to stick with it JM Tall. Type your return name and address, hitting Enter or Return between each line as needed. Then click outside of the text box to exit the editing mode. Then click and drag the text over the area that you want it on your envelope, and click and drag a corner to resize your return address. You may need to resize and reposition the text a few times to get your desired look. Cricut Design Space automatically centers text, so if you'd like your return address to be aligned to the left of the envelope, click Alignment and select Left. Then repeat the steps to add your recipient's address. I love Mr. Rogers. I wish I could wish him a happy birthday. Hold Shift to select all of the text layers for the envelope, click Operation, and select Pen. Click the color box to confirm your pen type and color. I'm going to use the same red glitter gel pen. Finally, click and drag your mouse over the envelope and its text. Click Attach at the bottom of the Layers panel to keep everything together. Your card and envelope are now all ready. Step 3. Write and cut your cards and envelopes. With the right machine selected, I'm using a Cricut Maker 3 today, and click Make It. If prompted, select On Mat 12x12 and click Confirm. On the Prepare screen, you should see a mat for the white envelope accent, one for the card inserts with writing, a long mat for the envelope, and a normal mat for the card itself. You may see a warning across the top about an image needing a longer mat if you're using the same envelope file as me. If you have a 12x24 green standard grip mat, click Continue. If not, click Cancel and see the How to Make an Envelope tutorial to make one using a 12x12 inch mat. Select your material for the project. I'm using light cardstock. If you don't see it as an option, click Browse All Materials and search for light cardstock. Select it and click Apply. I recommend changing the pressure to more. This usually helps me with cleaner cuts, and I think it'll help you too. You can also check Remember Material Settings to save a little time. Before placing a pen in your Cricut, scribble on a piece of scrap paper to get the ink flowing, especially if it's new or if it's been sitting around for a while. Get into the habit of always doing a little scribble like this before you use a pen, and you will have better results. On the Cricut Maker and the Cricut Explorer, pens go in clamp A. Follow the prompts in Cricut Design Space to insert the correct pen at the right time. Place the first mat's cardstock on your blue light grip machine mat and press the flashing arrow to load it into your machine. When it's all set, press the flashing middle button to start creating your design. When the mat is done, press the flashing arrows to unload it. Flip the mat over and peel it back to release the materials without curling or ripping them. Place your next material on the mat and continue the same steps until everything is complete. Follow the assembly steps to complete the card and the envelope. Here are the finished results. Step 1. Prepare your designs. To write on an existing card or envelope, we'll create templates in Cricut Design Space to get the layout correct. Then use the guidelines of our Cricut mat to place the items in the right spot for accurate writing. It's easier than it sounds, so don't worry. I'm going to add some writing to a Cricut cutaway card that I previously made. First, measure the folded card in the orientation you prefer. I'm going with landscape, and also measure the closed envelope to make sure you have the correct dimensions. Don't guess or you will be disappointed. My card is 5.5 inches wide and 4.25 inches tall. The envelope is 4.5 inches tall and 5.75 inches wide. On an empty Cricut Design Space canvas, click on Shapes and select a square from the free area. This is the start of our template. Open the lock icon at the top of the canvas and enter 5.5 in the width box and 4.25 in the height box. Click Enter or Return to see your square turn into a rectangle, and then select White from the color box. We'll use this to lay out the writing for the cards inside. Click the text icon and select the font that you'd like to use. Remember to click Current and filter for free writing options if you're looking at the Cricut fonts. If you're Cricut Access, then you can use whatever you like, of course. I'm going to use JM Pen Writing font in the System section, but you can use any writing font you like. Type the message for the inside of your card. You can use the Enter or Return key if you'd like text to move to the next line. I'm going to type "Wishing you an awesome birthday" and hit Enter or Return between the words to start a new line. Click out of the text box to exit the editing mode. Single-click the text box to select it again, click Operation, and select Pen. Click on the color box and select the type of pen and color you're going to use. I'm going to use the fine point pen in black. I want the text lines closer together, so you can use line space like earlier. Or you can click the advanced icon and select Ungroup to Lines. It's helpful to use this feature when you aren't keeping your text aligned. Select the top line of text and use your down arrow on your keyboard to move it closer to the second line. Once the line spacing looks good to you, hold down the Shift key to click and select both layers. Click and drag a corner to resize both lines at once. When you're happy with the text sizing and spacing, click and drag your mouse to select the text lines and the rectangle template. Click Align and center horizontally. There's another thing I love about writing fonts, and that's glyphs. They're extra special characters, letter forms, flourishes, ligatures, and stylistic alternatives that come with some fonts. I've included a few glyphs with the JM Pen Writing font, including a hand-drawn heart that I'd like to add near the message. To access glyphs on a Mac, open your font book application and choose the JM Pen Writing font. Select the glyph you want in the font and press Command-C to copy it. Back in Cricut Design Space, make sure JM Pen Writing is selected in the font menu. Then add a text box and click Command-V to paste the glyph. To access glyphs on a Windows computer, click on the Start menu and search for Character Map. Search for the font that you want. Again, select the glyph, click Select, and then click Copy. In Cricut Design Space, add a new text box, then press Ctrl-V to paste the glyph in it. For more information on glyphs, see my tutorial on making knockout designs at jennifermaker.com/make-knockout-designs Cricut Design Space. Now click and drag the heart near the message. We'll use the template for the envelope too, so click and drag it to the side for now. Finally, click and drag the mouse over the text and glyph, and then click Attach at the bottom of the Layers panel. For the envelope, resize the rectangle template to match the one you measured. I'll type 5.75 for the width and 4.5 for the height. Click the text icon to create a text box for the return address. If you'd like to use a different font, you may select it now. I'm going to use our JM Tall font. Then go up to Operation and change it to Pen. Next, click the box next to Operation and select your pen type and color. Type your return address and remember to press the Enter or Return key to move to a new line. If you'd like your return address to be aligned to the left of the envelope, click Alignment and select Left. Click anywhere on the canvas to exit the text editing mode. Drag the text to the top left corner of the template, then click and drag the corner to resize it to fit. Repeat the same steps for the recipient's address on your envelope. Once that's in place, hide the template in case you need it again to make any adjustments. Select all envelope address layers and click Attach at the bottom of the Layers panel. We are now ready to draw on the card and envelope. Step 2, place your materials and align writing. If you're prompted, select On Mat 12 by 12 and click Confirm. The Prepare screen is very important for designs that require perfect placement like a card and envelope. It's easier to work with a card and envelope on different mats, so first select the envelope first. Click the 3 dots in the upper left corner and select Move Object. Select New to create a new mat. Any color is okay, but I'll choose white again. The card alignment is more complex, so we'll work on that first. Click back on that mat. Then grab your card, envelope, and the blue light grip machine mat. Open the card and figure out your placement. I'm going to put the card 1 inch in from the left side with the crease at the horizontal 5-inch line. Make sure it's straight and press it into place on your mat. Now compare the physical mat with the one on your screen with the card text. The card covers the space between 1 inch and about 6.5 inches left to right. Since we want to write below the crease, the text should go between 5 and 9-inch horizontal lines. So click and drag the text to the mat area where you have placed your card. Leave the card on the mat, but grab the envelope to plan your second drawing mat. Place the envelope smooth side up with the top left corner 1 inch in and down from the mat's top left corner. In Cricut Design Space, select the mat with the envelope writing. Click and drag the text using the grid lines to align it where the envelope is placed. I had my return address start about 1/2 inch in and down from the 1 inch cross mark. When you're comfortable with your text placement, click back on the first mat. Then click Continue in the lower right corner. Select your material for the project. I'm using light cardstock. If you don't see it as an option, click Browse All Materials and search for light cardstock. Select it and click Apply. Before placing a pen in your Cricut, scribble it on scrap paper to make sure it's flowing well. On a Cricut Maker or Explorer, pens go in clamp A. Follow the prompts in Design Space to insert the correct pen at the right time. Grab your machine mat with the pre-made card still in place. Make sure the envelope is set to the side, then press the flashing arrows to load the mat into your machine. And then press the flashing middle button to start writing your design. When the mat is done, press the flashing arrows to unload it. Flip your mat over and peel it back to release the card without curling it. Now place your envelope on the mat, making sure the corner is lined up just as you planned and the flap is positioned correctly. So then load your machine mat into your Cricut and watch the addresses come together. So you can totally do this, right? Yes, you can. I know you can. My biggest tip for writing with your Cricut is really to just have some patience. There are a lot of things to keep track of: measurements, pens, placement, orientation, and remembering to have fun, because crafting should be fun. And if you're working with special paper or limited supplies, you should definitely test out your pens and placement using similar scrap paper. That goes double if you're using new pens. Remember to scribble on scrap paper to get them flowing before you ever put them in your Cricut, and definitely don't try a brand new pen on your wedding invitations. And yes, I know many people who have made all of their wedding invitations using their Cricut, so you can absolutely do this if you want to. Picking the right pen or marker for your project is also really important. I tried out a bunch of writing options in an earlier tutorial that will help you narrow down your options. You can find lots of examples over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut writing tutorial, tips, tricks, fonts. If you want to learn more about fonts and which ones I recommend for different materials, I have lots of free resources available at jennifermaker.com/Cricut fonts list. It's an awesome resource. I can't wait to see your amazing designs with writing fonts. I hope this tutorial helps you build your confidence when it comes to your Cricut writing on and inside your cards and your envelopes. Now, if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this tutorial, anything about Cricut writing fonts, the pens, anything at all, please let me know. I would be happy to help you. Just leave your question below this video or come ask over in our awesome Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters. I love to see your projects and I love to help. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.